Hi, Peter Hayden here. I help guide organizations unlocking the potential of data, analytics, and AI within the Microsoft ecosystem. Today, I want to just take you through a bit about what a medallion architecture is and how it is useful when we think about where we do analytics. So, traditionally, when we thought about how data was brought in, certainly when I first started getting into this, we would have our production database, and usually it was fairly limited. It's growing these days. And we'll have production, and for reporting purposes, we would take a copy of that, mirroring or replication somehow, and this is where I first found a reporting database, and would build our reports to look at that, to take the workload off the production. But as we have additional data sets come along, we start having this problem where we're going to bring all this stuff together. And so the process of bringing this, the integration work required and the modeling work, especially on premises, reached a point where it's complex and takes a lot of time. So in a modern environment, we think about how, especially in, say, a data lake instance, we think about how we can bring data at scale without having to go through a lot of processing initially, because sometimes we don't know. When we did this old way, at the time of the integration, this is our ETL process, and you had to know that you're going to extract, transform, and load as you went into the data warehouse or data model. And so how do you, and you could stage it in tables, but if you had a different data in a different format, as simple as it could be an Excel file or a CSV or JSON files, how do you fit that that's not in a relational database into something that's easy to use? So the concept of the data lakehouse has been born, and I'm not going to proclaim to be an expert in it, but the idea is that inside of your lakehouse, you can just bring your data in as you need to. So zoom in ETL, extract, transform, load. You think about this as an ELT, extract, load, and transform. So we move across the load and transform components. And so the idea is we might have an area within our data lake which is lower cost storage than high performance database engine, and we have different zones or different buckets, and we talk about medallion, we talk about bronze, silver, gold, with the idea that the bronze layer data is the raw information that come from our databases. They get stored in here as usually Parquet files, where it might be from something. It might be a CSV from another system, could be via an API, a range of ways to land data in a semi-standard format or standard format with Parquet. And this is what this does, is allows you to bring all data in when you don't know what you need to process at this stage, store it at scale, and then do something with it. The other advantage of doing this is you keep all historical data as well, that you will process as you go further down the chain. So bronze layer is usually is the raw. This is usually the raw data in a bronze level. As we get into silver, we apply then the transformation piece of this as we go then into silver. And so in using a Delta Lake format, we're able to bring our data. Usually it's more of a cleansed or it's ready for ad hoc analysis. So we think about things like data quality rules put over the top of it. It might be just a semi-process, so it doesn't bring all the data across. Important information, something about sales records. There might be the customer, the order, what it was, the amount, but a range of other fields may not be necessary at this stage. So it's got a level of processing done that allows then the use for, if I smooth this down a little bit, allows for then, say, an analyst. So it's careful, this is not a general business user, this is an analyst or a data scientist type of person to then interrogate this information. It's not business consumption ready, but can be used for exploratory analysis and understanding. When we go into the gold layer, we think about this as being fully modeled. Let's check my spelling. Fully modeled data, which means we might have then the entities like a customer, an order, might have an employee. Those records are then in a format that makes it easy for a business user to then query. And this is really part of how we help enable self-service BI and the ability to provide data for access across an organization. And so at this stage, we've got a higher quality data here that's gone through some processes and checked and so forth, aggregated and whatnot, business rules applied, which is why it's different to the silver, where it's might be clean process, but it's not fully modeled, and that's the sort of quality that is fit for general consumption. That's a really it's real simple explanation of the Medallion architecture and generally how it is used. There's also scenarios around that, and I might explore that in another video. But that's it for now, and if you found this useful, please let me know. It helps me understand the topics you're interested in. And if you'd like information we've shared today, please have my website, peterhayden.com, and please reach out that way, and happy to help.